you've pissed off a lot of people in the Democratic establishment. James Carville called you a twerp.
Hmm.
A lot of people are upset. From the outside looking in, I say primary everybody. Just do it. I look at it as an annual review. Primary them all. But you've gotten a lot of heat from people. Why do you think folks like James Carville and others are so outraged by what you're doing?
I think part of it is it's a combination of things. One, they're the problem, frankly. In DC, we want to do two things at the same time that are not possible. And this is why right now I've not seen any other plan out there for us to successfully meet this moment and address the fact that we have a between a 25 and 20 cent approval rating with our base currently. And the problem is, people in DC, they want to do two things at once that are not possible. They want to keep all the same people that are in their positions of power, that they all have relationships with, and they want to get back to winning. Those two things, with that kind of approval rating, are not going to be possible. And I'm not here to just keep everybody happy as we continue to lose, as our country is in crisis and people feel like Democrats are failing to meet the moment, specifically a lot of our members of the House they feel like are failing to meet the moment. And let's remind ourselves, yes, James Carville, obviously, he was Bill Clinton's campaign manager. He has a lot of experience. He's been around for a while. The last election he won was before I was born. But let's remember that experience is only as useful as it is effective. Carville said that Kamala Harris was going to win in a landslide. Look at what happened, right? So what I think is happening here is that they want to do two things at the same time that are not possible. When our country is in a moment of crisis, though, I believe we need to build the strongest Democratic Party possible in order to help revive the American dream, to help protect the foundations of our democracy, and show the American people an alternative vision to Donald Trump that is not just saying we are not Donald Trump, but is saying we are here to revive the American dream for everybody, to make it possible for you to have a roof over your head and not have to conserve your insulin or not use heat or not have or have the fear that your child is not going to come home from school alive. Part of the reason why I do this is because I know my generation knows the cost of what happens when politicians fail to meet the moment and fail to deliver for the people. Because this generation, my generation, and people of all ages at this point, but especially my generation, we've been told our whole lives we must protect democracy. We must protect democracy from, and that's what we've heard from the Democratic Party. And of course, we want to do that, but we fail to acknowledge the fact it is this democracy that put kids through school shootings and gun violence and the climate crisis and the student debt crisis, the housing crisis, the healthcare crisis, and so much more. And the answer to protecting and building democracy is not to sit on our hands and say, well, we can't have a conversation about who's in these seats and has been there for a very long time. The answer for our party is to not just say, oh, we need to defend democracy. It's to show why democracy matters and how we are using it to revive the American dream and combat the corruption and special interests that have brought our country to this place and offer a true and authentic alternative vision to Donald Trump that the American people can believe in. And what we need to do to do that is we need a Democratic Party that fights and is ready to meet this moment right now. And far too many of our members of Congress are not doing that.
David, I want to say this. First of all, I want to thank you for coming on. And I'm saying this because we reached out to your team. Y'all got right back to us. And too many times, Reese knows this too, some of these Democratic leaders don't come to black media. They don't come to us. And we are the base. We are the base. And I've
Literally.
reached out to a lot of, I'm not going to say their names. I feel like it. I'm on the verge of it. You are here, you're a young man, and you came and your team responded immediately and you made it a point to come here and to dialogue. So part of it is that some of these Democrats have this media elitism. They only go on CNN and MSNBC, and Reese and I go on those shows. That's great. But here we are 5 days a week talking to the base, and it's hard to get them to come on. And I really value that you showed up and answer these questions, and we were able to at least have dialogue because a lot of them aren't talking to the people. Having your 5 minute clip on legacy media is not enough. We're talking to the people, phone calls every single day. So I really appreciate you coming on and dialoguing with us. It means a lot.
Happy to be on. And I hope that there are more in the future. Maybe some of our potential future candidates can come on. And if you want them on, feel free to hit me up. And we would love to give them to you. We have, just to give you some examples too, one awesome person that we elected that I'm very proud of last cycle was Bryce Berry. in Georgia. He ended up flipping a seat that a Democrat formerly was there. She flipped to become a Republican in a safe Democratic seat for whatever reason. And Bryce, he led one of the March for Our Lives when he was 17 years old. And he decided when he found out, he ended up becoming a teacher at 22 years old. And one day he found out one of his students had witnessed his father get shot and killed in front of him. And Bryce said, he asked the student how he was doing, and the student said, "This is fine. This happens every day." Because there's so much gun violence in Atlanta where he's a teacher that it's that normalized. And is that a school shooting? No, obviously. But our kids are being affected by gun violence outside of school so much, and it's not making it in the media. It's not making it in the news. And what Bryce decided to do was to throw his hat in the ring and run for office. And we supported his campaign, and he ended up getting elected to become the youngest person ever elected to the Georgia state legislature and flipping that seat, and is now spearheading efforts to help, change gun laws and get teachers the support and funding that they need. If people want to know more about the type of candidates that we're supporting, look at some of our winners that we had last cycle. Look at Nadarius Clark. Look at Dante Pittman. Look at Molly Cook. Look at Christine Cockley. Look at Bryce Berry in Georgia. And Bryce is now helping spearhead the charge against gun violence as an active public school teacher in the legislature as well. And if people want to support our work here, they can go to leaderswedeserve.com.
Appreciate you. David Hogg, DNC Vice Chair and founder of Leaders We Deserve. Thank you. Anytime, any candidates who want to come on, reach out. We love to have up-and-coming candidates on. Have a good day, Mr. Hogg.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. What a great conversation. Well, Reese, what did you think?
I think that I'm all for choice because, a lot of times people tell Black candidates to stand down. A lot of times people say, it takes a white man to be the white man. We ain't got stand down, stand down, stand down. No, I don't believe in standing down. Go out, run your race, and may the best person win.
Well, I will say I love young folks doing something, and I appreciate the James Carville shade. That was great. And I appreciate that he showed up here.
Yeah.
I'm getting tons of messages right now. I appreciate that young man showed up here because a lot of folks aren't who's running for office right now. Show up, show up, show up. So I appreciate that. Even if we disagree, the brother at least showed up. Other people, y'all, why isn't so and so on the show?
Right. And that's part of competing. And maybe that's part of the feeling that, the incumbents feel like they don't have to compete as much because they got there, they've been there, they win their race by 30 points, 40 points, stuff like that. And so they feel more comfortable. So if this kind of shakes some people out of their comfort, I ain't mad at that. If you remember that you get your asses getting elected every 2 years or every 6 years, you need to be out here talking with the people because the other people trying to take your spot are talking to them. I ain't got a problem with that. I ain't got a problem keeping people on their toes.